Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today, and we're headed south of the border. This time, we're going to explore three very different Mexican states: Guerrero, Morelos, and Zacatecas. We've got a whole stack of notes here, a mix of history, some cool cultural stuff, and even some culinary adventures. So,
Yeah.
get ready to get hungry.
Yeah, each of these states, they offer a unique lens to see the bigger picture of Mexico, that complex mosaic. We'll be uncovering indigenous roots, colonial influences, whispers of revolution, and those vibrant traditions, the ones that are still alive and kicking today.
Love that. All right, first stop, Guerrero.
Hmm.
Okay, picture this. You've just landed. The Pacific sun is warm on your skin, that ocean scents in the air. Rugged mountains meet the sea. And you can practically feel those Afro-Mexican rhythms pulsing through, well, through everything.
And you'll find this fascinating mix of indigenous cultures here. Mixtec, Tlapanec, Nahuatl, all of them, they're adding to this rich tapestry of traditions and beliefs. Oh, and of course we can't forget Acapulco, right? A
Mm.
city that's seen it all from a bustling colonial port to a playground for Hollywood's elite.
Acapulco, wow, that's a place with stories, I bet. But I'm really curious about this mix of cultures, especially that Afro-Mexican influence.
Yeah.
Our notes mention Vicente Guerrero, a leader with Afro-Indigenous roots, and he played a key role in the Mexican War of Independence.
Oh, yeah. Vicente Guerrero, his story is amazing. Not only was he huge in the fight for independence, but he actually became Mexico's president. And what's even more incredible, in 1829, he just went and abolished slavery in Mexico. Boom, this was way, way before the U.S. did, like almost 50 years earlier. Makes his legacy, I mean, it's just monumental.
Wow, no, I had no idea. That really puts things into perspective. He's clearly a figure who fought for freedom on so many levels.
Yeah.
And speaking of legacies, these notes are just brimming with Guerrero's vibrant cultural traditions. We've got the Tixla Carnival with its energetic Danza de los Diablos, a dance that definitely reflects those African influences. Then there's Dia de los Muertos in Coatruapa El Grande, where families are honoring their ancestors with altars and offerings. It's like Guerrero embraces it all.
Yeah.
The joyous and the solemn, the celebratory and the reflective.
Yeah, it really does. It's a beautiful reflection of how complex life is,
Yeah.
and that cultural vibrancy, it even goes into Guerrero's art.
Yeah.
Think of those intricately carved masks, those vibrant textiles, the wood carvings that tell stories without even using words, and the pottery. The pottery reflects all those diverse influences that have shaped this state. And what's really interesting is how storytelling and oral histories play a part. It's how they keep their heritage alive, passing those tales down,
Yeah.
from generation to generation.
Yeah. So much of their culture seems tied to that personal connection, that passing down of tradition. And it makes me think of those family recipes, you know, those dishes that have been made the same way forever, each bite a taste of history. Speaking of which, our notes mention some pretty unique culinary traditions in Guerrero. I'm intrigued by the pozole.
Hmm.
It's described as practically synonymous with Mexican celebrations. And there are two types, right? Verde and rojo.
That's right. Pozole, it's a hearty stew, usually made with pork or chicken and hominy, that core that's treated with an alkali solution.
Yeah.
The verde that's made with green chilies and tomatillos usually. And the rojo, well, that one gets its kick from red chilies. It's definitely a dish that brings people together, served at those big gatherings and fiestas. But if you're after a taste of the coast, pescado a la talla, that's the way to go. It's grilled fish, marinated in spices, and often cooked, right over an open fire. It's a staple of that Pacific coastline in Guerrero.
Okay, I can practically taste it now. That smoky flavor from the grill, the tang of lime, the warmth of the chiles. My mouth is watering. But I'm also curious about those dishes that really reflect the resourcefulness of the people, like our notes mentioned tamales nejos. They're made with ash. And tiritas de pescado, those thin strips of fish marinated in lime juice.
Yeah.
It's pretty incredible how they create such diverse and delicious dishes from just local ingredients.
Oh, absolutely. Food, it's so much more than just fuel, right? It's a reflection of history, of the geography, and the cultural identity. In Negredo, you really see that connection between the land and the people, the way their cuisine honors both tradition and that spark of innovation.
Okay, so we've got these amazing landscapes, those rich traditions, the food. What's not to love about Guerrero, right? But before we jump to the next spot, let's talk music. Our notes mention something called Chilena music, and it seems to have a pretty fascinating backstory.
Oh yeah, Chilean music, it's this unique blend of influences. Reflecting Guerrero's history as this cultural crossroads. Okay, so picture this. Chilean sailors, they arrive on the Pacific coast. And they bring their musical traditions with them. And then those sounds, they mix with the local rhythms, the local melodies, and boom, you get this fusion of African and indigenous influences. And it becomes synonymous with Guerrero. It's a testament to how music can just transcend borders and create something completely new, something vibrant.
It really makes you wonder about all the ways those sailors, influence the culture. It's like a ripple effect, each interaction leaving its mark. But I'm also interested in those genres that are really embedded in everyday life there in Guerrero. Our notes mention son de artesa and corrido. What can you tell us about those?
Well, son de artesa it's a traditional genre. It often uses a wooden trough, an artesa, as a percussion instrument. You often hear it at those community gatherings, the celebrations. It reflects that communal spirit of Guerrero's culture. Corridos, on the other hand, they're more like narrative ballads. They tell stories of love, loss, heroism, even social commentary sometimes. They're like musical snapshots of life in Guerrero, capturing the joys, the sorrows, the struggles of the people.
So it sounds like music is just woven into the fabric of life there, a way to connect with history, share stories, celebrate life. And speaking of celebrating life, our notes mention Joan Sebastian, the poet of the people, born in Guerrero. I know he's a huge name in Mexican music, but I'm not as familiar with his style.
Oh, Joan Sebastian, he was a true icon, beloved for his ranchera and popular Mexican music. He was born in Juliantla, a small town in Guerrero, and his music, it often reflected that beauty and spirit of his home state. He had this way of capturing the heart of the Mexican experience, singing about love, loss, hope, resilience.
I bet there are so many stories of people connecting with his music
Hmm.
on a really deep level. It's
Yeah.
amazing how a song can just transport you back to a specific time, a specific place, evoking those memories, those emotions. But I'm also curious how Guerrero's music scene is evolving today. Our notes mention that contemporary influences, things like reggaeton and hip hop are starting to make their mark.
It's true. It's just like those Chilean sailors all those years ago, bringing their musical traditions, right? Today's musicians, they're incorporating new sounds, new rhythms. It's reflecting how culture is always changing, always evolving. It reminds us that tradition and innovation, they can coexist. Every generation adds their unique voice to the mix.
Guerrero sounds incredible, and honestly, we've only just scratched the surface. But before we jump to our next destination, I have a question for you. What what image of Guerrero stands out to you the most? What's really piqued your curiosity so far?
Hmm. Hold on to that image, that spark of interest, because we're about to journey to a land known as La Tierra de la Eterna Primavera, Morelos, a place where spring seems to bloom year-round.
Morelos, the land of eternal spring. I'm
Mhm.
I'm already picturing those lush gardens, those vibrant colors, the scent of flowers, just hanging in the air.
It is easy to get swept away by that idyllic beauty, all that sunshine and those tranquil landscapes. But beneath that, beneath the surface lies a history as rich and as complex as the flavors of their cuisine.
Okay, intriguing. I am ready to dig in. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of Morelos?
For me, it's the La Huica people, their presence. It's woven into everything, from the ancient art and architecture to those traditions that are still going strong today. And then there's Xochipalco,
Yeah.
a UNESCO World Heritage Site with pyramids and astronomical observatories. It speaks to how ingenious those pre-Hispanic inhabitants were.
I love the idea of those ancient astronomical observatories gazing up at the stars, trying to figure out the mysteries of the universe. It makes you realize how long people have been living on this land, how many stories these landscapes have witnessed.
Yeah.
But our notes also mention Cuernavaca, the capital city, as a place that's drawn artists and intellectuals for centuries.
Yeah.
Even Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera spent time there, right?
Oh, absolutely. Cuernavaca, it has a unique energy. It's this blend of history and culture and that natural beauty that's just attracted creative minds for generations. But if there's one figure who really embodies the spirit of Morelos, it's got to be Emiliano Zapata.
Ah, Zapata. The name itself just evokes revolution, resistance. Our notes mention he led the Zapatista movement during the Mexican Revolution, fighting for tierra y libertad, land and liberty. His struggle for agrarian reform, it sounds like it had a profound impact on Morelos.
Zapata's legacy is deeply connected to Morelos's cultural identity. He fought for the campesinos, the farmers who worked the land. His vision for a more just and equitable society, it still resonates today.
I'm curious about this Plan de Ayala. the document that lays out, Zapata's vision for land reform. Our notes say it was drafted right here in Morelos.
Oh, yeah. The Plan de Ayala was huge. It was laying out Zapata's demands for agrarian reform, for social justice. It called for the land to be returned to the people, for an end to exploitation, for a more equitable distribution of resources. It was a radical document at the time, and it cemented Zapata's place not just in history books, but in the hearts of the people.
It's pretty amazing to think about how his ideas, his fight for justice, it still resonates today. And speaking of resonating, our notes describe Morelos' festivals as vibrant, full of life. I'm particularly intrigued by the Carnaval de Tepoztlan, with its Danza de los Chinelos.
Oh, the Carnaval de Tepoztlan it's a fascinating mix of history and festivity. The Danza de los Chinelos it's a unique dance. Performers wear these elaborate costumes and masks, and they mock colonial figures, but it's done with humor and this historical awareness. It's a way to acknowledge the past while celebrating, the resilience and the spirit of the people.
Wow, it sounds like a really powerful way to use dance as a form of social commentary. But Morelos also seems to embrace those ancient traditions as well. Our notes mention spring equinox celebrations at Xochicalco and Tepoztlan.
Those celebrations they're really special. People gather at these ancient sites. They soak up the energy of the new season, and it's this blend of ancient rituals and modern spirituality. It's a testament to how powerful tradition is and that human connection to the natural world.
It sounds like a really beautiful way to mark those changing seasons. But what about other festivals? Our notes mention Dia de Muertos and Semana Santa as key celebrations in Morelos.
Each festivity, from the solemn remembrance during Dia de Muertos to the vibrant processions of Holy Week, they reflect the unique tapestry of Morelos. It's a place where indigenous and Spanish influences are constantly interacting, constantly in dialogue, creating this cultural landscape that's both familiar and distinct.
So we've got this blend of ancient and modern traditions, that revolutionary spirit that's just woven into everything. It sounds like a place full of energy, full of passion. But what about the music? What are the sounds that fill the streets of Morelos?
Morelos, it pulses with the sounds of banda, mariachi, and jarana, genres that are practically woven into, the fabric of Mexican life. You'll hear those familiar trumpets, violins, guitars, those rhythms that make your feet move, your heart race.
Those are genres I'm pretty familiar with,
Yeah.
but I'm always excited to discover something new. Our notes mention a regional flavor, Son de Morelos. What sets this one apart?
Well, Son de Morelos, it adds that distinct regional flair to those traditional Mexican sounds. It's a bit more folksy, often featuring lyrics that tell stories about everyday life in Morelos, celebrating the land, the people, that unique spirit of the state.
I love the idea of each state having its own musical fingerprint, those subtle variations that make it distinct. But I also want to circle back to the Danza de los Chinelos.
Yeah.
Does it have its own unique music as well?
Oh, absolutely. The music for the Danza de los Chinelos, it's all about energy and rhythm. Think brass bands, drums, wind instruments, creating a sound that's festive and powerful. You can't sit still when you hear those melodies. It's like the music itself is urging you to dance.
It's amazing how music can just capture the essence of a place,
Right.
of a tradition, of a feeling. But all this talk of music and celebration is making me hungry. Our notes mentioned some pretty unique culinary delights in Morelos. Cecina de Capixla, for example, sounds delicious.
Oh, cecina de yacapixtla. It's a true taste of Morelos. Imagine thinly sliced, salted beef. It's air-dried and then grilled to perfection, served with, all the fixing salsas, tortillas, guacamole, maybe some refried beans. It's a dish that reflects Morelos' agricultural heartland, a celebration of those simple ingredients prepared with care and tradition.
It sounds like a perfect example of how Morelos just elevates those simple ingredients to create something truly special. And what about tacos acorazados? I've never even heard of those.
Oh, tacos acorazados are a hearty and delicious specialty of Morelos. Acorazado means battleship, and these tacos definitely live up to the name. They're large tortillas, just overflowing with fillings like rice, beans, chicken, milanesa, or whatever you're craving. They're a testament to the generosity of Morelos' cuisine, a meal that's sure to satisfy even the biggest appetite.
Wow, they sound like a delicious culinary adventure.
Yeah.
But I'm also curious about those dishes that reflect Morelos' unique twist on familiar Mexican staples. Our notes mention tomadas de ceniza, made with ash, and mixiotes. That's meat steamed in maguey leaves. What makes these dishes so special?
Well, tamales de ceniza, also known as tamales negritos, are a testament to the culinary ingenuity of Morelos. The ash is used in the masa, the corn dough, giving it this distinctive smoky flavor and a slightly darker color. It's a traditional technique that's been passed down for generations. It's adding a unique twist to a beloved Mexican staple. Mixiotes, on the other hand, are all about that slow cooked flavor. The meat, often lamb or rabbit, is marinated in a blend of spices, and then it's wrapped in maguey leaves. It creates this natural steaming pouch, and that infuses the meat with this earthy aromatic flavor. It's a dish that's both comforting and celebratory, perfect for a special occasion or a simple family meal.
It sounds like every bite tells a story in Morelos, a blend of history and tradition and culinary innovation. But before we move on to our final destination, I want you to think about this. How does the legacy of Emiliano Zapata continue to resonate in Morelos today? What traces of his fight for Tierra y Libertad can you still feel in the spirit of its people, the traditions they uphold, the very landscape they inhabit?
Let those questions simmer as we journey to our final destination, Zacatecas, a land where silver mines have shaped not just the landscape but the very soul of the region.
Zacatecas, the land of silver. I'm already picturing those mines, those veins of precious metal running through the earth. It sounds like a place where history and nature are just intertwined in this really dramatic way.
Zacatecas it's a place where the past is always present, whispering tales of riches, ambition, the clash of cultures. Imagine Zacatecas City, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with its pink stone buildings gleaming in the sun, and those narrow, winding streets echoing with the footsteps of conquistadors, miners, revolutionaries.
Well, it sounds like a scene straight out of a history book. I'm already picturing those narrow streets, the sound of my footsteps echoing on the cobblestones, the scent of history in the air.
Well,
But you mentioned silver mines. How did those shape the very soul of Zacatecas?
Well, in the 1540s, the discovery of silver, it transformed Zacatecas
Yeah.
from a quiet outpost into this booming center of wealth and power. It became a vital link on the silver route, connecting Mexico City to the northern frontier. Think of it as a highway of silver, a flow of riches that fueled the Spanish Empire and shaped the destiny of Zacatecas.
It's incredible to think about the impact those silver mines had. Not just on Zacatecas, but on the world.
Yeah,
It's like this one region held the key to an empire's wealth.
right.
But I'm also curious about the people who lived here before the arrival of the Spanish. Our notes mention the Mixton War, a rebellion by the indigenous Caxcans against Spanish rule.
Oh, the mixed on it's a reminder that Zacatecas history isn't just one of riches and grandeur. It's a story of resistance,
Yeah.
of indigenous people fighting to protect their land, their culture, their way of life. It's a story that's often overshadowed by the narratives of conquest and colonization, but it's a vital part of understanding the complexities of Zacatecas identity.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that every place has layers of history, untold stories waiting to be uncovered. But speaking of history, our notes mention that Zacatecas played a pivotal role in the Mexican Revolution. There was a significant battle here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The Battle of Zacatecas, 1914. It was a decisive victory for Pancho Villa's forces against those federal troops. A real turning point in the revolution, further solidifying Villa's position as a legendary revolutionary figure and cementing Zacatecas' place in the narrative of modern Mexico.
It sounds like a very dramatic moment in history,
Yeah.
a clash of ideologies and ambitions. But I'm also interested in how Zacatecas celebrates its past and present. What kind of festivals can we expect to find here?
Oh, Zacatecas knows how to celebrate. Imagine stepping into the heart of the Feria Nacional de Zacatecas, this grand spectacle of bullfights, charreras. Those are traditional Mexican rodeos, showing off those equestrian skills, concerts that make the ground shake, and artisan markets just bursting with color and craftsmanship.
Wow, it sounds like a sensory overload.
Yeah.
But for those who are seeking a more cultural experience, our notes mention the festival Cultural Zacatecas. It takes place during Holy Week.
Oh yeah, the Festival Cultural Zacatecas. It's a celebration of the arts, a showcase of music, dance, theater, visual arts. It's a chance to experience that creative energy of Zacatecas, to witness that blend of tradition and innovation that makes the state so unique.
I love how Zacatecas seems to embrace both. the grand spectacle and the intimate cultural experience. It's a beautiful balance. But I'm also curious about those traditions that blend the pre-Hispanic and the Spanish influences. Our notes mentioned the danza de los Matachines.
The Danza de los Matachines it's a fascinating example of syncretism, that blending of different religious or cultural traditions. It's a religious dance that combines pre-Hispanic and Christian symbolism, a real testament to the complex cultural tapestry of Zacatecas.
It makes you wonder how those different belief systems merged. How people found ways to honor both their ancient heritage and their adopted faith. It's a beautiful example of cultural adaptation. But our notes also mention this massive historical reenactment, the Fiesta de la Marisma de Bracho.
Oh, yeah, the Fiesta de la Marisma de Bracho. It's a truly spectacular event. Imagine thousands of participants dressed in these elaborate costumes reenacting the battle between Moors and Christians. It's a tradition that goes back centuries. It's a way to bring history to life and to connect with the past in a very tangible way.
It sounds like a history lover's dream come true. But let's not forget about the music. When we think of Zacatecas, what sounds come to mind?
When you hear Zacatecas, chances are you're picturing Banda Zacatecana. It's brass band music, the heart and soul of every festival, every parade, every celebration. It's the sound of joy, of community, of a culture that embraces life to the fullest.
I love that vibrant brass band sound. It's so infectious. I can practically hear it now. But I'm also curious about Tamborazo Zacatecano, this unique genre that focuses on percussion and brass.
Oh, Tamborazo Zacatecano. It's a regional variation of traditional Mexican music. It puts the spotlight on those powerful drums and those soaring brass instruments. It's a sound that's both energetic and hypnotic, a rhythm that gets under your skin and stays with you long after the music stops.
It sounds like a true celebration of rhythm and sound. But I also want to learn more about the corrido Zacatecano, those ballads that tell stories of revolution, heroism, and everyday life. It seems like storytelling through music is a recurring theme in Zacatecas.
Oh, absolutely. Corridos, they're like musical chronicles, capturing the essence of a place and its people. They tell stories of love, loss, struggle, triumph, preserving history and passing it down through generations. And in Zacatecas, those corridos often focus on the region's revolutionary history, the exploits of Pancho Villa, and the everyday lives of the people who call this land home.
It's amazing how music can serve as this historical record, a way to keep those stories alive. But all this talk about history and culture is making me hungry again.
Yeah.
What does Zacatecas have to offer in terms of culinary delights?
Well, Zacatecas' cuisine is known for its hearty dishes, meals that stick to your ribs and warm your soul. One of the most iconic dishes is asado de boda. It's a traditional pork stew, often served at weddings. A celebratory dish rich in flavor and history, a symbol of community and togetherness.
Asado de boda. It sounds perfect for a festive gathering. But what about everyday fare? Our notes mentioned enchiladas zacatecanas and birria.
Oh, yeah. Enchiladas Zacatecanas, they're a local twist on a Mexican classic. Tortillas dipped in this rich red chili sauce, filled with cheese and onions, and sometimes topped with shredded chicken or potatoes. Simple but satisfying, bursting with flavor. Birria, on the other hand, it's a flavorful stew, usually made with goat or beef, slow cooked until the meat is just tender and falling apart. It's a dish that's often served on special occasions, a symbol of hospitality and generosity.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. But our notes also mention something called tacos envenenados. The name is a little intimidating. What are those?
Don't let the name scare you. Tacos envenenados, it translates to poison tacos, but they're far from deadly. They're actually these delicious fried tacos filled with potatoes, chorizo, beans, and topped with salsa and cheese. The name is it's a bit of playful exaggeration, a testament to that Zacatecan sense of humor.
I love that. It sounds like Zacatecas has a playful side, a sense of humor that runs through their culture. But before we wrap up our exploration of Zacatecas, I want you to imagine yourself exploring its diverse landscapes. Picture yourself wandering through the colonial streets of Zacatecas City, marveling at those architectural wonders, or hiking in the Sierra de Organos National Park, surrounded by those dramatic rock formations that seem to defy gravity. What image captures your imagination?
Hold on to that image, that sense of wonder, as we move on to the next phase of our exploration.
Okay, so we've explored the cultural side of things, right?
Mhm.
The history, the traditions, the music, the food. But I'm also kind of curious about the natural world of these states. Our notes mention like incredible biodiversity in all three regions.
Oh, absolutely. Each state, it boasts this unique mix of plants and animals
Yeah.
shaped by their, diverse geography and climates.
So let's start with Guerrero. We already talked about its stunning coastlines, but what about its inland landscapes?
Well, imagine, those lush tropical forests just teeming with life, mangrove swamps lining the coast, and those iconic coconut palms swaying in the ocean breeze, and let's not forget those vibrant pops of color from the bougainvillea and that sweet scent of frangipani just perfuming the air. But what's really fascinating is that Guerrero is also home to agave plants, the very heart of mezcal production.
Ah, mezcal. Now that's something I can get behind. It's incredible how a plant can become such a symbol of a region's culture and identity.
Yeah, it really speaks to that deep connection between people and the land, doesn't it? And speaking of that connection, our notes mention that Guerrero's protected areas, like the Sierra de Huautla Biosphere Reserve,
Yeah.
they're incredibly biodiverse. They're home to rare orchids, to medicinal plants, the kind that have been used for centuries by indigenous communities, and countless other species that just contribute to the ecological richness of the region.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that these landscapes, they're more than just, pretty scenery. They're vital ecosystems. They support this whole web of life. But we've talked about plants. What about the animals that call Guerrero home?
Well, Guerrero's animals are just as diverse and fascinating as its plants. Imagine, sea turtles nesting on these pristine beaches, while jaguars, ocelots, and pumas roam those forested mountains. And if you're really lucky, you might even spot humpback whales migrating off the Costa Grande during certain times of the year.
It's incredible to picture those creatures sharing the same space, each one playing a role in that delicate balance of Guerrero's ecosystem. But speaking of characters, let's shift gears and talk about the people who really bring these states to life. The artists, the musicians, the everyday heroes.
Yeah.
The ones who shape their cultural landscapes.
Yeah, each state we've explored, it boasts this unique cast of individuals who've left their mark on their communities and beyond. In Guerrero, we've already talked about Vicente Guerrero,
Yes.
that symbol of freedom and equality, whose legacy just continues to inspire.
Absolutely. And we can't forget Johann Sebastian, the poet of the people whose music captured the hearts of millions and helped put Guerrero on the map.
Mm.
But our notes also mention Juan Ruiz de Alarcón, a playwright from Taxco whose works are celebrated for their wit and social commentary. It seems like Guerrero has a pretty rich literary tradition as well.
Oh, Juan Ruiz de Alarcón, he's a fascinating figure. He was born in Taxco, late 16th century, and he eventually moved to Spain, where he became this prominent playwright during the Spanish Golden Age. His works, they often dealt with themes of morality, deception, social hypocrisy, and they're still studied and performed today.
It's interesting how his roots in Guerrero influence his writing, even though,
Yeah.
he found success in Spain. It speaks to the power of those early experiences, the way they shape our perspectives.
Mm.
But our notes also mention that Guerrero has connections to the world of cinema and television.
Oh, for sure. Guerrero's stunning beaches and,
Yeah.
and that coastline, they've been featured in countless Mexican films, especially Acapulco. It became this popular backdrop for Hollywood productions back in the 1950s and 60s. Think Elvis Presley in Fun in Acapulco, or Elizabeth Taylor in The Night of the Iguana.
Hmm.
These films, they help to solidify Acapulco's image as this glamorous exotic destination.
It's like Guerrero has this natural star quality,
Yeah.
this magnetism that just draws people in. And it's not just limited to those classic films either.
Yeah.
Even today, Acapulco pops up in telenovelas, movies, international music videos. It's clearly a place that continues to capture the imagination.
Absolutely. And while those glamorous depictions are definitely captivating, it's also important to remember the complexities of the region. Our notes highlight the work of Carlos Montemayor, a writer who used his platform to bring attention to indigenous rights and the struggles of rural communities in Guerrero. His work, it serves as a reminder that every place has its challenges, its injustices, and its voices fighting for change.
Yeah, it's really important to acknowledge those voices to understand that full spectrum of experiences within a region. But let's shift our focus to Morelos now. We've talked about its revolutionary spirit, its connection to Emiliano Zapata. But who are some of the other individuals who've shaped this state's identity?
Well, alongside Zapata, we have Vasco de Quiroga, a fascinating figure. He's often associated with the state of Michoacan, but his social reforms, they had a huge impact on communities in Morelos as well. He believed in creating these self-sufficient communities,
Yeah.
based on indigenous traditions and practices. And his ideas, they continue to influence social movements and community development initiatives today.
It's interesting how his influence transcended those state borders. His ideas resonating with communities looking for alternative models of development. But I'm also curious about those individuals who are shaping Morelos's cultural landscape today.
Oh, Morelos keeps producing talent that captivates audiences all across Mexico and beyond. Our notes mention Luis Felipe Tovar,
Hmm.
an award-winning actor known for his roles in films like Water for Chocolate and The Crime of Father Amaro. And then there's Alejandra Barros, a well-known actress who's graced countless telenovelas.
It seems like Morelos has this knack for storytelling, whether it's through film, television, or even those revolutionary tales that are woven into its history. It's as if that spirit of storytelling is just embedded into the very air they breathe.
And that revolutionary spirit, it's definitely palpable in the language of Morelos. Catchphrases like "Aquí nació la revolución," the revolution was born here. It reflects the pride they take in their history and their role in shaping the course of Mexico.
Yeah, it's a powerful reminder that language is more than just words. It's a carrier of history, identity, emotion. But before we move on to Zacatecas, I wanted to touch on something I found fascinating in our notes. The fact that Cuernavaca, the capital of Morelos, is a popular weekend escape for residents of Mexico City.
It's true. Cuernavaca has earned this reputation as a tranquil oasis, a place to escape the hustle and bustle of city life with its spas, its gardens, its historic homes. It's the perfect place to relax, rejuvenate, reconnect with nature.
Yeah, it sounds like the ideal getaway, a little slice of paradise, just a short distance from the city. Okay, now let's turn our attention to Zacatecas. We've already discussed its silver mines, its revolutionary connections, but who are some of the individuals who've shaped this state's cultural identity?
Well, when you think of Zacatecas in music, the name that comes to mind immediately is Antonio Aguilar, the Charro de Mexico. He was a singer and actor and equestrian. He used his talents to popularize ranchera music and Charro traditions throughout Mexico and beyond.
Yeah, his legacy is undeniable. I've definitely heard his music before. But our notes also mention Flor Silvestre, another renowned ranchera singer and actress from Zacatecas.
Yeah.
It seems like this state has a deep connection to ranchera music, those soulful melodies that tell stories of love, loss, and the Mexican countryside.
Absolutely. Ranchera music is it's deeply embedded in the cultural fabric of Zacatecas. It's the soundtrack to their celebrations, their heartbreaks, their everyday lives. But Zacatecas has also produced notable figures in other realms as well. We have Francisco Garcia Salinas, a reformer. Known as the Benemerito de Zacatecas, he dedicated his life to promoting education and agriculture, leaving a lasting legacy on the state.
Yeah, it's inspiring to see how these individuals use their talents, their passions, to really make a difference in their communities. But I'm also interested in Zacatecas' artistic side.
Yeah.
Our notes mention Manuel Felgueres,
Yeah.
a pioneering abstract artist.
Oh, Manuel Felgueres. He was a visionary artist who helped to introduce abstract art to Mexico. His work challenged those traditional notions of art, exploring form, color, texture in these bold and innovative ways. You can see his impressive collection at the Museo de Arte Abstracto Manuel Felgueres in Zacatecas City.
Wow, it's amazing how one state can produce such diverse talent from ranchera legends to abstract artists. It speaks to the creative energy that flows through the Zacatecas. But speaking of energy, our notes mention that Zacatecas dramatic landscapes have made it a popular filming location for Mexican cinema.
Yeah, that's true. Those rugged mountains, those vast deserts, those historic towns, they provide the perfect backdrop for tales of adventure, romance, intrigue. It's no surprise that Zacatecas has been featured in countless Mexican westerns. Its scenery adds that touch of authenticity and grandeur to the stories.
It sounds like a filmmaker's dream come true. But I also wanted to touch on something I found interesting in our notes. The fact that Zacatecas has a soccer team that
Yeah.
plays in the Ascenso MX League, the Mineros de
Oh
Zacatecas.
yeah, soccer or football as it's known in Mexico. It's more than just a sport, right? It's a passion. It unites people from all walks of life. Having a team in the Ascenso MX League, it gives Zacatecas this sense of pride, a chance to cheer for their home team, to connect with the wider sporting community in Mexico.
Yeah, it's a good reminder that sports can be a really powerful force, bringing
Mm.
people together, fostering that sense of belonging. Okay, so we've explored the individuals who've shaped these states, but I wanted to dive a little deeper into the languages spoken in each region. It's fascinating how language can reflect a region's history, its culture, even its personality.
It's like each state has its own linguistic fingerprint, its own unique way of expressing itself.
So let's start with Guerrero. We talked about its blend of indigenous and Afro-Mexican influences. How does that play out in the language?
Well, while Spanish is the official language of Mexico in Guerrero, you'll hear Nahuatl, Mixtec, Tlapanec spoken in indigenous communities. A real testament to the enduring legacy of their ancestors. And then there's that coastal dialect, which has this distinct rhythm and cadence reflecting those Afro-Mexican and indigenous influences.
It's fascinating how language can hold those traces of the past,
Yeah.
those echoes of different cultures coming together. But what about Morelos? Does it have any unique linguistic features?
Well, in Morelos, Spanish is also the dominant language, but Nahuatl continues to hold a special place, especially in indigenous communities. But what really sets Morelos apart are those expressions that are linked to those Zapatista ideals. Phrases like "Aquí nació la revolución," the revolution was born here. It encapsulates that state's revolutionary spirit.
Wow, it's amazing how a phrase can become a rallying cry, a symbol of a region's history and identity. But before we move on to Zacatecas, I want to make sure I'm pronouncing this correctly. Aquí nació la revolución.
That's perfect. You've got the accent down.
Okay, now I feel like I can really say it with conviction. Aquí nació la revolución. Now let's head over to Zacatecas. What can you tell us about the language spoken in this region?
Well, in Zacatecas, the language reflects a blend of Spanish and Nahuatl influences, creating this this distinct northern Mexican flavor. You'll hear phrases like "que hubole," a casual greeting, kind of like "what's up," and "puchale," which urges someone to hurry up, kind of like saying "get a move on." And just like in Morelos, "no manches" pops up again to express disbelief or amazement.
It's interesting how certain phrases just transcend those state borders, becoming part of a shared Mexican lexicon. But what about the Zacatecano accent? How would you describe that?
Well, our notes describe the Zacatecano accent as clear and neutral with a northern Mexican rhythm. They sometimes sprinkle in those ranchero expressions, adds a touch of rustic charm to their speech. It's as if the language itself reflects the landscape, rugged yet welcoming, with a hint of poetic flair.
Okay, I'm already picturing those cowboys, those rancheros, their words as much a part of the landscape as the cacti and the mountains. But to truly immerse ourselves in these states, I think we need to go on a virtual tour to visit their most iconic cities, landmarks, and hidden gems. It's like flipping through a travel magazine. Each image sparking our wanderlust and inspiring dreams of future adventures.
I'm ready to pack my bags. Where shall we begin?
Well, we can't talk about Guerrero without mentioning Acapulco, right? It's like the crown jewel of the Pacific Coast, a place that's synonymous with glamour beaches and a vibrant nightlife.
Oh, Acapulco is definitely a must-see. Imagine yourself watching those iconic cliff divers at La Cabrada, plunging into the waves with just breathtaking precision. And then there are the beaches, stretching for miles along the Pacific coast, each one offering a different vibe. You've got the bustling energy of Playa Condesa, the tranquil beauty of Playa Revolcadero, and countless other stretches of sand where you can soak up the sun and that laid back atmosphere.
It sounds like a beach lover's paradise. But I'm also curious about the towns and cities that lie beyond Acapulco. Our notes mention Tasco de Alarcón, Pueblo Mágico,
Hmm.
known for its silver.
Oh, Taxco de Alarcón is a truly enchanting place. Imagine strolling through its narrow cobblestone streets, lined with whitewashed buildings that seem to cling to the hillsides. The air is just it's filled with the scent of silver. Taxco is one of the best known silver producing towns in the world. You'll find countless shops and workshops where skilled artisans create these intricate jewelry pieces, sculptures, decorative objects.
It sounds like a silver lover's dream. And speaking of dreams, I can't help but picture the stunning Santa Prisca Church, that Baroque masterpiece that just dominates the skyline of Taxco.
Oh, the Santa Prisca Church it's a testament to Taxco's rich history and that artistic heritage. It was built in the 18th century by José de la Borda, a wealthy silver magnate, and it's considered one of the finest examples of Churrigueresque architecture in all of Mexico.
Okay, I'm adding Taxco to my must-visit list. But for those who are seeking a more laid-back vibe, our notes mention Zihuatanejo, a tranquil fishing town that's become a haven for ecotourism.
Oh, Zihuatanejo, it offers a slower pace of life, a chance to connect with nature and experience that authentic charm of a traditional Mexican fishing village. Imagine, strolling along the waterfront, watching the fishermen bring in their catch, or just relaxing on the beach, soaking up the sun and the sounds of the ocean.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect antidote to the stresses of modern life. But what about those travelers who want a bit of both, a touch of luxury alongside that natural beauty?
Well, right next door to Zihuatanejo, you'll find Ixtapa, a modern resort town. It offers those luxury hotels, golf courses, all the amenities you could desire. It's a perfect example of how Guerrero caters to a wide range of travelers,
Right.
offering something for everyone.
So we've got bustling Acapulco, enchanting Taxco, tranquil Zihuatanejo, luxurious Ixtapa. It seems like Guerrero has a destination for every taste.
Mm.
But I'm also curious about the places that lie off the beaten path, the hidden gems that offer a glimpse into the heart of Guerrero.
Well, if you're looking to delve deeper into Guerrero's history and culture, you can't miss Tixla de Guerrero, the birthplace of Vicente Guerrero. It's a town steeped in history,
Oh,
known for its vibrant Afro-Mexican cultural celebrations.
yeah, it's amazing to think about how one town can just hold so much history, so much cultural significance. But for those seeking adventure, what does Guerrero have to offer?
Well, for the adventurous souls out there, the Cacuamilpa Caves National Park is a must-see. It's home to one of the world's largest cave systems, a subterranean wonderland of stalactites, stalagmites, and otherworldly formations.
Wow, it sounds like a journey to the center of the earth.
Yeah.
I can already picture myself like exploring those caverns, marveling at the natural wonders that lie hidden beneath the surface. But I'm also drawn to those stunning beaches, the ones that haven't been overrun by tourists.
Oh, Guerrero has countless hidden beaches, each one offering its own unique charm. You have Playa Ventura, known for its strong surf and its laid back atmosphere, perfect for those seeking a more off the grid experience. And then there's Playa Carrizalio, a secluded cove accessible only by boat or a steep staircase. It's a hidden paradise with crystal clear waters, perfect for swimming and snorkeling.
It sounds like there's a beach for every mood in
Oh.
Guerrero, from the bustling to the secluded, from the surfer's paradise to the snorkeler's haven. But before we leave Guerrero behind, we can't forget about its pre-Hispanic past. Our notes mention an important archaeological site, Teopantecuanitlan.
Oh, Teopantecuanitlan. It offers a glimpse into Guerrero's ancient past, a reminder that this land has been inhabited for centuries. You'll find pyramids, plazas, and other structures that speak to the ingenuity and sophistication of the people who lived here, long ago.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about the layers of history that lie beneath our feet, those echoes of past civilizations that continue to shape our understanding of the present.
Okay, we've thoroughly explored Guerrero. Now let's shift gears and head to Morelos, a state that seems tailor-made for relaxation and cultural immersion.
Morelos is a place where you can slow down, reconnect with nature, and immerse yourself in the rich tapestry of Mexican culture.
And when we think of Morelos, the city that immediately comes to mind is Cuernavaca, right? The capital city,
Yeah.
known for its eternal spring and its tranquil atmosphere. Oh, Cuernavaca is a city of gardens, fountains, and colonial architecture. It's a place where history whispers from every corner, where you can stroll through lush parks and imagine yourself stepping back in time.
Our notes mention the place called the Borda Garden. It was once the summer home of Emperor Maximilian and Empress Carlotta. It sounds incredibly romantic.
Oh, the Border Garden it's a beautiful example of 18th century landscape design. Imagine strolling through those manicured paths, admiring the fountains, the statues, the exotic plants that were brought here from all over the world.
It sounds like a perfect place to just lose yourself in the beauty of nature.
Yeah.
I'm also curious about the Palacio de Cortez, the palace built by Hernan Cortez himself.
Well, the Palacio de Cortez is a must-see for history buffs. It was built in the early 16th century on top of the ruins of an Aztec palace, and it's considered one of the oldest European-style buildings in the Americas. Today, it houses a museum. It showcases the region's history, from its pre-Hispanic roots to its colonial past and its role in the Mexican Revolution.
It's amazing to think about the layers of history contained within those walls.
Right.
It's the stories that those stones could tell. But Morelos also seems to have a vibrant art scene as well. Our notes mention the Robert Brady Museum.
The Robert Brady Museum, it's a hidden gem, a testament to the eclectic tastes of its namesake, an American artist and collector who made Cuernavaca his home. You'll find this diverse collection of art and objects from around the world, reflecting Brady's passion for beauty and his fascination with different cultures.
Yeah, it sounds like a feast for the senses. But I know Morelos has so much more to offer beyond Cuernavaca. What are some of the other destinations we should explore?
Well, if you're looking for a blend of spiritual energy and natural beauty, you can't miss Tepoztlan, a pueblo mágico that just seems to vibrate with a special kind of magic.
Tepoztlan. It sounds intriguing. What makes it so special?
Well, imagine yourself climbing the Tepoztecal pyramid, dedicated to Tepoztecatl, the Aztec god of Pulque, and enjoying these panoramic views of the surrounding landscape. It's a challenging climb, but the reward is worth it. And then once you've reached the top, you can explore the town's charming streets. You can browse the artisan markets and maybe even indulge in Tepoztlan's reputation for organic food and spiritual retreats.
Yeah, it sounds like the perfect place to reconnect with nature and find a sense of peace. But I'm also drawn to the ancient ruins,
Mhm.
those glimpses into Mexico's pre-Hispanic past.
Well, for a truly awe-inspiring journey back in time, you have to visit Axicalco, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that was once a major ceremonial center.
We touched on Xochicalco earlier, but I'm ready to delve a little deeper into its mysteries. What makes this site so special?
Well, Xochicalco is a marvel of ancient engineering and artistry. Imagine exploring pyramids adorned with intricate carvings, ball courts where ancient games were played, observatories that were used for astronomical studies. It's a place that transports you back to a time when this region was ruled by powerful kings and priests, a time of great cultural and scientific advancement.
It's incredible to think about how much knowledge and skill went into creating these structures, how much history they've witnessed. But Morelos also seems to have a rich colonial past as well. Our notes mention a town called Yecapixtla, renowned for its delicious satina and its 16th century monastery.
Oh, the monastery Ecopixtla it's a beautiful example of colonial architecture,
Yeah.
a testament to the influence of the Spanish on this region. It's a place where you can step back in time, imagine the lives of the monks who lived and prayed here, and appreciate the artistry of the period. And of course, no visit to Ecopixtla would be complete without sampling its famous sacina, a culinary tradition that's been passed down through generations.
Yeah, it's amazing how food can just connect us to the past. How a single bite can evoke those memories and traditions. But also, I'm also curious about the towns that offer a more immersive cultural experience. Our notes mention Tlayacapan. What makes this town so special?
Well, Tlayacapan is known for its chinelo dances, a vibrant tradition that blends pre-Hispanic and Spanish influences. You'll also find beautiful pottery made using traditional techniques that have been passed down through generations, and well-preserved colonial churches that offer a glimpse into the religious life of the period.
It sounds like a perfect place to soak up the authentic atmosphere of Morelos, but Morelos also seems to be a haven for nature lovers.
Yeah.
What are some of the natural wonders we should explore?
Well, if you're looking to escape the heat and immerse yourself in nature, you have to visit Las Estacas Natural Reserve. It's an ecological park built around a series of natural springs and pools, perfect for swimming, snorkeling, or just relaxing by the water. You can also go kayaking or paddleboarding down the crystal clear river, surrounded by lush vegetation and the sounds of nature.
Yeah, it sounds like a paradise for water lovers. But for those who prefer their nature a little less aquatic, our notes mention Jardins de Mexico.
Oh, Jardins de Mexico it's a truly unique experience. It's the largest ornamental garden in the world, showcasing this just mind-boggling array of flowers and plants from all over the globe. You'll find themed gardens that transport you from Japan to Italy to the tropics. Each one a feast for the senses.
It sounds like a horticultural wonderland. I can already picture those vibrant colors, those exotic scents, the sheer scale of it all. But for those seeking a more tranquil escape, our notes mention a place called Lagunas de Zempoala.
Oh, the Lagunas de Zempoala are a series of serene lakes nestled in a mountainous region, surrounded by forests and meadows. It's a perfect place for hiking, picnicking, or just enjoying the peace and quiet of nature. You can also go horseback riding, mountain biking, camping, immersing yourself in the natural beauty of Morelos.
Yeah, Morelos truly offers this perfect blend of history, culture, and natural beauty, a destination that caters to a wide range of interests. But our journey isn't over yet. Let's wrap up our virtual tour with a trip to Zacatecas, a state that seamlessly blends that colonial grandeur with rugged landscapes and a vibrant cultural scene.
Zacatecas is a place that will captivate your senses, challenge your perceptions, and leave you with a profound sense of wonder.
And when we think of Zacatecas, the city that immediately comes to mind is Zacatecas City, right? The capital.
Yeah.
A UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's renowned for its pink stone architecture and its rich history.
Oh, Zacatecas City. It's a visual masterpiece. Imagine yourself wandering through those narrow cobblestone streets lined with those stunning pink stone buildings that just seem to glow in the sunlight. It's like stepping back in time, a place where history whispers from every corner.
Our notes mention the Cathedral Basilica de Zacatecas as a must-see.
Yeah.
What makes this cathedral so special?
The Cathedral Basilica de Zacatecas, it's a masterpiece of Mexican Baroque architecture, a testament to the city's religious fervor and its artistic talent. It was built back in the 18th century, and its facade, it's adorned with these intricate carvings, statues, columns. They're a testament to the skill of the artisans who created it.
It sounds absolutely breathtaking. But I'm also curious about the views. What's the best way to get a panoramic perspective of the city?
Oh, for the best views of Zacatecas City, you have to head to Cerro de la Bufa, a
Right.
hilltop that offers these breathtaking vistas of the surrounding landscape. You'll find monuments to revolutionary leaders, and even a cable car ride adds a little bit of excitement to the experience.
Okay, I'm definitely adding Citadel Bufa to my itinerary. But Zacatecas City, it's not just about pretty buildings and scenic views. It's also a place where you can delve into the region's mining history.
Absolutely. If you want to experience Zacatecas' mining legacy firsthand, you have to visit Mina Eliden. It's a 17th century silver mine that's been transformed into a museum.
It sounds like a really unique and fascinating experience. What can visitors expect to see and do at Mina El Eden?
Well, imagine venturing into the depths of the earth, exploring the tunnels, the chambers where miners once toiled, extracting that silver from the earth. You can see the tools they use, the conditions they worked in, and learn about the impact that mining had on the region. And for a bit of fun, Mina Eladin even has an underground disco.
Wait, and an underground disco in a 17th century silver mine? That's definitely something you don't see every day.
Yeah.
But I know there's so much more to Zacatecas than just its capital city.
What are some of the other destinations we should explore? Well, if you're looking for a charming colonial town with a relaxed atmosphere, you can't miss Jerez de Garcia Salinas, a pueblo mágico that just exudes this timeless beauty.
Jerez de Garcia Salinas.
Yeah.
It sounds like a place where you can truly escape the modern world. What can visitors expect to find there?
Well, imagine yourself strolling through cobblestone streets lined with colorful buildings, browsing those artisan markets, witnessing that equestrian culture that's so deeply rooted in this region. Jerez is also known for its beautiful gardens, its traditional festivals, and its delicious cuisine.
It sounds like a feast for the senses. But I'm also interested in their religious heritage of Zacatecas. Our notes mention a town called Guadalupe, home to the Museo de Guadalupe.
Oh, the Museo de Guadalupe. It's a must-see for art and history lovers. It houses this stunning collection of colonial art and religious paintings, showcasing the artistic talent and the religious devotion of the period. The museum is located in a former Franciscan convent. It's a beautiful complex of buildings that's worth exploring in its own right.
It sounds like a place where you can truly immerse yourself in the history and culture of Zacatecas. But I'm also drawn to the natural beauty of this state. Our notes mention a town called Sombrerete, known for its proximity to the Sierra de Organos National Park.
The Sierra de Organos National Park, it's a nature lover's paradise. Imagine dramatic rock formations that just rise from the earth, resembling the pipes of a giant organ, hence the name. It's a landscape that's both rugged and awe-inspiring, perfect for hiking, camping, and exploring the great outdoors.
It sounds like a photographer's dream come true. Those rock formations, they must be incredible to see in person. But before we leave Zacatecas, I want to make sure we touch on its pre-Hispanic past. Our notes mention an archaeological site called La Quemada.
Oh, La Camada. It's a fascinating site, shrouded in mystery and intrigue. It's thought to have been a major ceremonial center, possibly linked to the Toltecs, a powerful civilization that dominated central Mexico in the centuries before the arrival of the Spanish. You'll find pyramids, plazas, defensive walls that hint at La Quemada's turbulent past.
It's amazing to think about how many civilizations have risen and fallen in this region, leaving behind those traces of their existence in the form of ruins and artifacts. But before we move on, I want to highlight one last town in Zacatecas, a place that seems to capture the essence of the state's cultural heritage. Tio de González Ortega.
Oh, Atil de González Ortega. It's a true hidden gem, a town that's been recognized as a pueblo mágico for its well-preserved architecture, its traditional festivals, and its unique cultural offerings. It's also known for its mezcal production. So be sure to sample the local brew.
Mezcal, cobblestone streets, traditional festivals. It sounds like the perfect combination, but we can't forget about the economic engine of of Zacatecas, right?
Yeah.
The industry that's shaped its history and continues to play a vital role in its present.
Of course. No exploration of Zacatecas would be complete without mentioning Fresnillo, home to Mexico's most productive silver mine.
It's fascinating to see how mining, an industry that's been a part of Zacatecas' identity for centuries, continues to shape the region's economy and its future.
Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the history, the culture, the nature, the people of Guerrero, Morelos, and Zacatecas. Each state has offered a unique glimpse into the heart of Mexico, a reminder of the diversity, the richness of this incredible country.
Well,
And we've tasted those culinary delights, explored those cultural landscapes, even learned some slang along the way.
it's been a fascinating journey, a reminder of that incredible diversity and richness that Mexico have to offer. We've seen how history, geography, and culture have come together to create these three unique and unforgettable destinations.
Yeah, and we've learned that each state has its own story to tell, its own rhythm to dance to, its own flavor to savor. So as you reflect on everything we've explored today, think about this. What is it about Mexico that continues to captivate the imagination? Is it it's the warmth of the people, the vibrancy of the culture, the echoes of ancient civilizations, the breathtaking landscapes, or perhaps it's that magical blend of all of these elements that keeps us coming back for more.
Well, until next time, keep your wanderlust alive and your curiosity piqued. Adios, amigos.